Hello everybody, this is the Uncle Hammer, and in this video I will be doing a commentary on Benthelooney's Rant video about modern video games. For this commentary, I will be using a computerized voice. In his rant about modern video games, he apparently acts very biased and complains over shit that is really not worth complaining about. Especially not without explanation. Alright folks, let's get started with this commentary.
Welcome back to Ben Rants, and when I was a kid, people had good excuses for suing other people.
Oh really? I did not know that. Thanks for the information, Grandpa.
There's no doubt about it. I love video games.
Yeah, don't we all?
I might not be as into video games as I am other things, but video games bring me lots of joy as well. My favorite genre is platformers, because I love adventures and being able to free roam around worlds that game designers create. However, video games have also been affected by today's society of suckology, and that's what the subject of today's rant is.
Well, this should be pretty interesting. We would love to hear how video games have gone downhill.
What's that? You're expecting a rant on censorship? Well, I'm sorry. As much as it sucks, it's a controversial issue, and I don't rant on controversial issues.
And I believe you did rants on a number of controversial issues, so don't give us that crap.
Plus, it was really hard to figure out a way for me to rant about it without me sounding like I'm a heartless crackpot that doesn't care for children. But, I will say, are naked women and certain words the worst things a child could be exposed to?
Actually, then, there are things far more worse than naked women that children could be exposed to.
So, there you go. Anyway, get ready for repetitiveness. Here's my rant on modern video games. Let's start with how video games have changed since I was a kid. When I was little, video games were just video games.
What the hell do you mean video games were just video games? They have always been video games since they were first created. However, the style and format in video games have evolved over time. So anyway, what was the point in that?
And that's about it. Nowadays, video game consoles can do so much more. Now, you can hook your video game consoles up to the internet, allowing you to play with people you've never met. Also, you can download your favorite TV shows and movies onto your systems and watch them whenever you want.
Well sure, that is the result of the progress of video games over the years. And may I remind you that this is the 2010s now. So we are almost into the futuristic world we've imagined about for many years.
Other things they can do, but I don't want to be here all day. So, I'll just stop here. So, video game systems can do a lot more than when I was a kid. That's all well and good, but was it really necessary?
Of course it was. As already mentioned, that is the progress of video games. And some people have always dreamed about doing extra stuff on a video game system.
I mean, we have CD players and DVD players that can do all that stuff. Do we really need to put it in our video game consoles? What's wrong with just playing a game? Leave well enough alone, why don't you?
I am not going to say this again. That is the progress of video games. Also, for those that have a PS3 but don't have a DVD player, this system really comes in handy. Or for those that have a CD or DVD player that is not working, along with a PlayStation 3 that is working, it can be used as a backup.
Changed. Back in my day, games had lots of variety. There were puzzle games, platformers, shoot-em-ups, RPGs, handhelds, beat-em-ups, first-person shooters, third-person shooters, adventure games, horror games, and so many others. They also had games for adults and games for kids, as well as games for both. Everybody had something to be happy about. However, here's the variety that modern video games have to offer. Shooters, 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 more friggin' shooters! What the living truck! What is with all the friggin' first-person shooters?
First-person shooters are one of the best video game themes. Almost everybody enjoys wanting to simulate a character with a gun. This is one of the reasons why Call of Duty is one of the top-ranking video games of the modern era. Also, you really need to do something about these annoying audio skips. You leave out a lot of information when you do that. I can tell your microphone is fucked up.
Okay, I know not all modern video games are shooters, but a lot of them are, and they seem to be all over the place. Why?
I said it once, and I'm not gonna say it again. First-person shooters are one of the best themes in a video game.
Oh, I see. Because they're popular. I know that, but why are they popular? In my opinion, they're really not the most interesting games out there, and they really get old after a while. However, since people keep buying them, game makers keep making them, and so they just keep coming. While in the meantime, throwing creativity straight out the door. Give me a break.
Fuck you, Benthelooney. And for the third and final time, first-person shooters are one of the best video game themes. Do I have to repeat myself a million times?
I mean, I get so annoyed when I hear, "Oh my gosh, Modern Warfare 3 is the best game ever!" It's one thing for it to be an opinion, but the funny thing is, that's what you said last year about Black Ops! And the same thing about Modern Warfare 2 the year before that! Here, you'll be saying the exact same thing about the next game that comes out, so you're always going to keep changing your opinions. It never ends!
Their opinions keep changing because new games are being released and have succeeded the older games with improving in quality and gameplay. Just because people call it the best game ever doesn't mean it will have that title forever. Just like when a king gets dethroned, a new king or queen takes over.
The main reason I freaking hate FPSs is because they're the same freaking game over and over again. Don't shake your heads, you know I'm right. Don't believe me? More than half of the Call of Duty games take place in World War II, and all of them have the same basic formula. Shoot people. And that's it. Really? Where's the fun in that? Ooh, I'm killing somebody. I should feel really proud about myself. Wow, that just doesn't feel right to me. Well, me being a pacifist might play a factor in that, and I know that it's a game, but still. And I know killing people in games might give you an adrenaline rush, but doesn't that go away after a while?
Well, if a game is really that good and causes greater excitement, the adrenaline rush can last all day. Some people play the game so much that they can even become obsessed with it once in a while. I can be obsessed with an FPS if I really think I recently had a good time with a game.
I think it does when I play them, even though I'm forced into playing them. It's my cousins again, so don't ask. So, that's why I hate FPSs. They lack variety, and they get boring after a while. And when there is a lot of FPSs being released every year, it doesn't help their fun factor either.
None of those statements were even true.
Going back to what I mentioned earlier, video games now allow you to hook up to the internet and play with other people. Sounds like fun, right? Yeah, until you have to deal with tryhards and babies that treat the friggin' game like it matters to their lives. Come on, it's just a game. Learn to have fun.
They are having fun. The whole thrill and excitement and entertainment of the game and pretending that it is their life is their way of having fun.
But no, there are certain people that whine and complain when you play with them online that they just ruin your gaming experience. Sure, you can find people that just play for fun, but more often than not, you're bound to have at least one person in your party that annoys the crap out of you. It especially sucks when you're playing with little kids who shouldn't even be allowed to play the kind of games you're playing. Gosh, parasprites haunt your very life.
Parasprite? You mean the same insult you called Mr. SMD Rules? And yes, I watched you say that to him in a video that Adult Swim is evil made. Move it along, will you?
And play on live. I'm fine just playing by myself or inviting my friends over to play with me. At least then if you tick your friend off, you'll have something to laugh at. Plus, another aspect of video games that seems to have been blown out of proportion recently is some people think that graphics make the game. Personally, I don't think graphics are that big of a deal unless I can't tell what something is, even if it's 2 feet in front of me in a game. But, as the years go on, graphics continue to get better and better in video games.
Well, that right there is an example of the progress of video games.
Of course, that's due to the increasing power of technology, but if you continue at this rate, then video games will look like real life eventually. Really? These are supposed to be video games. They're not supposed to be looking like real life. They're supposed to have their own little worlds that's different from ours.
Well, it depends on the theme and genre of the video game. Also, video games are actually meant to be simulated as if you are doing it for real, and in the form of entertainment.
The great Ray Harryhausen sums this up in his quote, "You can't escape from a world away from reality if the world looks like reality itself." Exactly. So, once graphics get to a specific point, then stop them. Playing as real people. Games today is that people are constantly getting in an argument over which video game system is better. Some say PS3, others say Xbox 360.
That's their own personal opinions, and you can't argue about that.
Let's think about this for a second. More than half of the games for each console aren't even exclusives, so a majority of the time, you can get the same game for both consoles.
Actually, some games are only available on Xbox 360, and some games are only available on PlayStation 3. Not to mention, any game involving Mario is only available on Nintendo Wii.
And are some of the exclusives for the consoles really that good? I don't know, I haven't played them. Next, there comes the debate on whose online is better. Since PS3 online is free, then I would go with that. I mean, if I have to listen to 10-year-olds cussing because they suck at a game, I'm not willing to pay any money for that.
There are a lot of kids on Xbox Live that bitch and moan about stuff like that. If you can't handle it, then just don't even bother with the shit.
And people will say, but PS3 network got hacked. Hey, mistakes happen and they fix the problem, so quit witching about it.
Not every problem can really be fixed. It's not like magic. It can take some time and even cause a lot of stress.
And finally, there is the debate on who has the best graphics. Considering what I said earlier, who gives a crap about graphics? However, even though you might bring this up, you still have to listen to people arguing about which system is better. To which I would say, what about the Wii? No, I'm not kidding. I freaking love the Wii.
If you love the Nintendo Wii, then you will most likely love the Nintendo Wii U.
I've always been a big Nintendo fan, so I've always wanted a Wii, but I've never been able to find money to afford it. However, I won one in a drawing at my junior after prom event, and I've been addicted to it ever since.
Wow, good for you. That must have been your lucky day.
Even though I only have 3 games for it, Wii Sports Resort, and Metal Slug Anthology, I always love to find time whenever I can to play it. So, I think the Wii is the best console out on the market. However, it is taken for granted by most quote-unquote hardcore gamers who claim it's nothing but a kid's toy.
Actually, no one has really complained about the Wii. A lot of the hardcore gamers really enjoy this system and say that it is like a really good gaming workout. Anyway, stay tuned for part 2 of this commentary. See ya!